Hi folks. Welcome to another one of our Vapor Chief Before You Buy videos. In this video I want to discuss shipping. It's an interesting topic because a customer called yesterday and had some concerns about the way the box looked when he got his machine. And I was a little bit confused because every machine obviously that goes out is brand new. We have so few returns that I don't even have machines that I could send out as used or even make a mistake in packaging. But his concern was he thought he had either a remanufactured machine or a used machine or a demo machine. He bought a brand new machine and that's what he was expecting, but when he saw the way the box looked, he had certain concerns. And after he started talking and after some of the questions that I asked him about the way the box looked, I had to tell him that, no, that's the way I pack the boxes. So let's start from what happens at the factory. Now, at the factory, I require that my manufacturer bench tests the machines. So there's water added to the machines, whether it's a 75 machine, whether it's a refill machine, an injection machine. There's going to be water in the machine because they have to run it. The pressure needs to be set. We want to check for leaks. We want to make sure it's fully operational before it gets put in a box, put on a container, sent over to me here. We want to make sure that when you buy a brand new machine that you're opening up your machine and you're getting a perfectly operating machine. So there's probably going to be a small amount of water in your machine. Now his machine was a single machine and there was some water in the boiler, which he was concerned about. So again, he thought it was a return that he was getting and not a brand new machine. So he was not too happy. But when I explained that, that cleared that up. But then he had questions about the way the box looked. So he said, well, there was a big piece of styrofoam in the bottom of the box. You had a ton of tape on the box. The box was sort of ripped. There was a piece of cardboard in the box, and the box had definitely been reopened and retaped. I said, yep, that's me also. So here's the way the boxes are packed. Now from the factory, what they do is they're just going to put a single strip of tape along the bottom and the top because the boxes are being put on a pallet. The pallet is being wrapped with shrink wrap. They're being placed on a container, secured on a container, brought over here on a boat, then trucked over to my location. So chances of a machine getting damaged on the boat are very, very slim. Unless the boat hits some really rough seas and stuff shifts around on the container, nothing's going to happen. But as far as shipping goes, I've shipped machines within New Jersey and seen the carrier destroy machines. So we don't want that to happen. So what happens is now the handle with care and this side up doesn't mean anything to these guys. So I want to make sure that the machine that you're getting is protected. So I open up the bottom of the machine. Now, when I open up the bottom of the machine, what we found is that placing the bottom of the machine over a piece of styrofoam just like this really helps cushion the bottom of the machine and it gets the wheels off the bottom just a little bit. So if the carrier drops the box, instead of crushing the machine, damaging the wheels, and putting a big dent in the bottom, the styrofoam takes the beating. Now, he also said, well, there was chunks of styrofoam that were kind of missing and on the inside of the box. And I said, well, that means the styrofoam did its job. So what happened here is this piece of styrofoam, there's a couple of pieces missing. Maybe the edge of the steamer had, chunked out the styrofoam here. But that means that this is doing its job. But what I also like to do on the bottom of the box is I take a box. I take a separate shipping box, piece of cardboard. I place it over the styrofoam like that, and I put some more bubble wrap over that. Then I put the box back together, and then I retape the bottom of the box. That's just the bottom of the box. Now, I don't do it to make it look pretty. So I'm not putting just a piece of tape here. I'm putting tape here, tape here, tape here, running tape this way, 3 or 4 times this way, running a couple of pieces of tape this way, so running some more tape this way. So when you get your box, not only have I cut the original tape that the manufacturer had done to get into the bottom of the machine to reinforce it, I put a zillion pieces of tape on the bottom because I don't want the machine falling out of the bottom of the box. And for the extra 2 minutes that it takes me to do that and a little bit of tape that I'm using, it's going to prevent any bad things from happening to your machine. So now when we go to the top side of the box, I also open up the top side of the box because I want to check, first of all, that all your accessories are there, that the machine was packed the way it should have been from the factory. So I check to make sure that everything is there in the first place. And I also place the manual inside the machine. I have manuals here that I physically place inside the machine. So as I'm checking to make sure that your manual, that your accessories are inside the machine, I just place the manual on the top. And then same thing, I fold everything back and I put a zillion pieces of tape on that part of the box as well. And then when I finally get down to my shipping label, I finally put the shipping label on the top of the box, and I put a million pieces of tape on that, just because I don't want the shipping label to fall off. If the shipping label falls off, then your machine is kind of lost in space. So when you get your box from me, chances are I've handled it, I've put your manual in it, I've reinforced the bottom with cardboard and a little bit more bubble wrap, and I've made sure that your machine is in safe condition to ship, whether it's out to California, the state of Washington, all the way across the country, or even within New Jersey. And what I also have found that I don't like what the carrier does is when I have multiple machines going out per day, the way you're supposed to carry a machine with handholds is like this. They don't do it, and I kind of understand, because they'll take 2 machines at a time, but they'll carry them like this. So what they end up doing is they carry a machine like this. Now this is an empty box. Now the machine's weight fully packaged is, whether it's a single 75 or a refill 100, that box is going to weigh probably about 38 pounds going out the door. So when a shipping guy picks up each box like this, they have a tendency to rip these handholds. And then when they rip the handholds, the customer also thinks that the machine is damaged. So now what I also do is I also put reinforcing tape across this part of the handhold to make sure that if they carry the box like this out to the truck, that it's not going to rip the side of the box. So when you get your machine from me, you're going to see a ton of tape on it. And you're also going to see shrink wrap on the machine. We've now left the shrink wrap on the machine to protect the stainless steel so the stainless doesn't get scratched. That's just another thing that we've done, so we're going to ask you to peel the shrink wrap off the machine, but the shrink wrap is kind of like the way they send cars to the dealers now, is that you're not going to take the shrink wrap off a brand new car until you get your car, and we've left the shrink wrap on a brand new steamer until you get your steamer, and then you can peel your shrink wrap off. So, you know, the customer, after I did explain all this to him about, yes, he did get a brand new machine, and this is the reason why his box looked horrible, but it's just a way that I like to tape the boxes and make sure that the box is going to take whatever kind of travel it goes through, from carriers that are dealing with millions of boxes a day and they really don't understand what handle with care means, because sometimes that's just a signal to treat the box even worse to see if they can do any damage. So that's the story with shipping. And I hope you understand that if you do order a brand new steamer, I'm going to handle it, I'm going to ship it, I'm also the shipping department, and you're going to get a box with a ton of tape on it, but I assure you your machine should be in very good working condition when you get it because of the extra time that I take to pack it.